I know of no single formula for success, but over the years I have observed that some attributes of leadership are universal and are often about finding ways of encouraging people to combine their efforts, their talents, their insights, their enthusiasm. The familiar voice came through the taxi's radio speakers. I sniffed and then grabbed another tissue from my bag. "Lass, are you all right?" Elias glanced at me as I sat in the passenger seat. I smiled sadly and dabbed my eyes. "I'm fine." Elias and his wife Aggie had shed plenty of tears too. They'd been at my and Tom's blue house by the sea when we heard the news of the Queen's passing. Queen Elizabeth II had died, right here in Scotland, in fact. Though it hadn't been a surprise, it had most definitely been a shock. Her death would have made me sad had I still been in Kansas, but here in my new home in Scotland, I thought it probably hit me even harder. In one way or another, she'd been a part of my everyday life, since I'd answered the online ad for my job and traveled across the sea, chasing the promise of an adventure. The promise had been more than fulfilled, and the Queen had been a part of it. Even so far as surprising us all one day by making an appearance on behalf of my boss, Edwin McAllister. If she hadn't been endeared in my heart already, she certainly would have been then. Edwin was more upset than the rest of us, unable to discuss her death without breaking down into sobs. Edwin's sobs were executed in a more sophisticated way than mine would be, but they were sobs nonetheless. I'd asked him, as well as my co-workers, how well he'd known her, and he said that his sadness was wrapped around what a lovely woman and public servant she'd been. Both Rosie, my grandmotherly co-worker, and Hamlet, my other co-worker, who had become like a younger brother to me, claimed that Edwin had never told them any more about his relationship with any of the royals than that he'd simply had the opportunity to meet the Queen a long time ago and had been fiercely loyal to her since.